Good morning and welcome to the 9:30 call. Great to see folks. We are recording this call and it will be available on our YouTube channel where we have all of our 9:30 call recordings available, as well as we also have our follow-up folder of all the slides. So we have a 5-year history of all the 9:30 call. Definitely the slide presentations, and most recently we've been recording most of the 9:30 calls in the morning. And so we are so excited to welcome back Commissioner Amy Kershaw from the Department of Early Education and Care. We are so excited to have Excel Linguistics with us this morning, so I'm going to turn it over to Julian.
Thank you, Amy. Okay, good morning to everyone. Welcome again to this meeting. And this morning we have the privilege to provide interpretation services in Spanish and also in Portuguese. So to let you know how to select your language, in just a moment, you will see the globe icon next to the word interpretation. You will find this at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you click on that globe, you can select your language. If you have joined from a cell phone or tablet, look for the three dots button on your screen next to the word more. From there, you will see interpretation as an option in the list to choose your language. An important reminder, regardless the language you speak, everyone has to select a language and stay in that channel. Now, I will turn it over to Jimena to repeat that in Spanish.
Buenos días a todos. Esta mañana tenemos servicios de interpretación en inglés, español y portugués. En un momento cuando comiencen, usted verá que aparece el icono de un globo en la parte inferior de su pantalla. De ahí le da clic y podrá seleccionar el idioma en el que quiere participar. Si usted se está conectando a través de un celular o de una tableta, tiene que buscar los 3 puntitos junto a la palabra more o más, seleccionar Language Interpretation. De ahí aparecerá una lista y podrá seleccionar su idioma. Como recordatorio, independientemente del idioma que usted hable, es importante que escoja un canal y permanezca ahí. Gracias.
Thanks, Jimena. Dora, please go ahead and repeat that in Portuguese.
Bom dia a todos, sejam todos bem-vindos. Nós estamos disponibilizando serviços de interpretação em português e espanhol. Para você acessar esses serviços, clique no globo na parte inferior da tela, a Language Interpretation, e você pode selecionar o idioma da sua preferência. Se você está acessando de um tablet ou de um celular, clique nos 3 pontinhos junto à palavra More, e aí você pode selecionar o seu idioma. Lembramos que todos devem selecionar o idioma da sua preferência. Muito obrigada.
Thanks, Dora. Okay, interpretation is available now. All set, Amy.
Thank you so much, Julian, and Dorian and Henema. We are so excited to be here this morning. Commissioner, welcome back. We are looking forward. We know you had the Board of Early Education and Care meeting yesterday. Was it yesterday? And you're here to share a report. We know there was lots of things that happened. So I'll just turn it right over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Amy. Great to see you, and happy June. We're finally getting a little bit of summer weather today, so I hope everyone's going to enjoy it before our 12th rainy Saturday of New England, right?
But who's counting?
Who's counting? So I wanted to do a couple overall updates and also mention a few things that happened at the board yesterday. But it's been quite a remarkable month, and I just was reflecting this morning that in the face of the chaos and cruelty and more that is being perpetuated at the national level, we in Massachusetts, it feels very much, at least in the early education and care space, that we are leaning into the bright spots and the successes and what's right here with us. So I kind of wanted to highlight a few of the amazing things I've gotten to see and participate in over the last month. We were with our partners, Neighborhood Villages and Holyoke Community College, celebrating the launch of a mentoring program. More than a year ago, we all collectively gathered to talk about apprenticeships and pathways into the field that are multiple ways. Higher education apprenticeships were coming on in different spots. And many of us convened in Worcester to talk about how do we create a more formal opportunity for apprenticeship programs. And one of the things that came clear out of that was that the role of a mentor was really essential in everyone's career pathway, including mine. But in particular, a formal role associated with our apprenticeship programs. And we embraced that with our partners at Holyoke Community College, and we piloted for a year what the role of a mentor could look like. And it was a wonderful day to celebrate both the leaders who were supporting our up and coming educators. It provides new leadership opportunities for those who have been in the field but want to stay in the classroom, might not be on a director track. And as a result, many of our apprenticeship programs are going to have this mentorship role. We're building it into the credential, and that came directly from those in the field. So it's really a part of the professionalizing of the field, recognizing the work that's happening. It's in center-based and in family childcare. So I got to meet mentors who were working over the last year in both settings. So thank you to our partners. I see Kim Quinlan, and I know Neighborhood Villages is probably here too. So just really amazing work there. I was also, and hopefully 4Kids Only is Brianna or someone from 4Kids Only is here. But a year ago, I got to attend the launch of their first ever full-time after school and out of school time apprenticeship program. First one in the country to be full-time, I think second one in the country in out of school and after school time at all, pioneers in Massachusetts. And I got to participate in the graduation last week. So this is 2,000 hours of on-the-job training and 150 hours of technical training. And I got to meet with the apprentices who graduated who would not otherwise have had this kind of professional pathway and certification at 4Kids Only. And their many partners, along with the Division of Apprenticeship Standards within Labor and Workforce and with EEC. And so those were two really amazing events to see kind of the seeds of what we've been saying is needed in the field to lift it up, to professionalize, to give opportunities for advancement and increases in salary, recognizing attainment and recognizing that attainment with compensation. So I was really, really happy to have a chance to participate in both of those. We have also been on our roadshow for the Commonwealth Preschool Partnership Initiative. We were in Somerville, Northampton, Worcester, and then on Monday this week, we were in Sandwich. And if you haven't given the CPPI or the Commonwealth Preschool Partnership Program a look in a little while, we have a new data brief on CPPI that's out. I'm sure one of the very talented EEC team will put that in the chat. But it's amazing what that program is accomplishing. We're in 30 communities right now, and is our goal to expand to as many as we can reach, starting with our gateway and rural communities. We are seeing more families accessing early education and care. We are seeing reductions in tuition fees for families. We are seeing alignment in curriculum and literacy and social emotional approaches across our community-based settings in our public schools. And most remarkably, we are seeing children with special needs having opportunities to receive the services in the settings that are being chosen by families. So we met with 2 families in Sandwich who would not otherwise be able to receive the services, but their children are receiving occupational therapy and speech therapy within the community-based settings that they have chosen and that their other children are enrolled in. We heard in Worcester about 13 buses no longer needing to come and pick up kids in the early childhood in the middle of the day to take them for services because the services are coming to them at the YW. And one of the things we heard from the schools is we know these kids when they get here. So by the time they're in kindergarten, we're already lined up with the right teachers, thinking about grouping, thinking about what services they need. And we heard in Somerville about, real reductions in the need for special education services because of reaching the kids early and helping them access the curriculum. So we're really excited about what's happening through that program. And our roadshow continues. We're coming to Framingham next, and we'll continue to promote this program as the administration's real vision for how we achieve universally accessible early childhood education and preschool within our incredible mixed delivery system. So I guess the last update from events I want to share, and many of you may have seen, I was with the governor. It was an honor to serve with her at We Are ALX Summit. And I think the most remarkable thing that I want to recognize about that day, it was a lead panel. This is a business organization supporting Latinx businesses across the Commonwealth, and really lifting up the Latinx community as contributors to and drivers of our economy. And the population of the Latinx communities skews very young as opposed to some other parts of our population. So early childhood education and childcare are a really essential part of responding to the needs of both our Latinx businesses as well as our community. So the event really led off with a panel discussion that was about childcare as an economic driver of the economy, and featured Governor Healy, who, as you all know, feels very much that investments in childcare are investments in our competitiveness as a state. So that was a real highlight, and I think continues to focus on sort of what's right. And the recognition. Many family child care providers were in attendance at that event and being recognized as they should be, as the entrepreneurs and local businesses that they are, driving economic development within their communities. And we all have known that for a very long time, but to see Mass Business Roundtable, Associated Industries of Massachusetts, the Boston Chamber of Commerce, the Secretary of Economic Development, all in a room talking about childcare as a driver of the economy and as a very important two-generation approach to economic mobility for all families in general. So those were some highlights of what's right here in Massachusetts that I have had the honor to participate in. A couple quick updates for the agency. One is we are so grateful for action taken by the legislature. The last time I was here, we were talking about the FY25 budget, and that the governor had filed a supplemental budget to make sure that we could pay all of our bills for childcare financial assistance for this fiscal year. And thanks to your assistance and the leadership of the legislature, that supplemental budget passed, and we are currently making all of our payments, no delays in payments to childcare. And again, I think broad recognition, we are serving more families than we ever have within our childcare financial assistance programs. And so we needed that supplemental budget to make sure that we could pay providers for all the services, and we are on track to do that. So thank you to all of you for your support and your communication to our legislative partners. We are now on to the 26 budget, and two other quick updates I wanted to make sure people are aware of. I know there was a delay, but we are now up and running with the scholarship application for the early education and care higher education opportunities. I know I see Sarah Cian. Oh, there we go. I can't even get the sentence out before the team gets a link in. And we've already had, I think, record-breaking interest in it as soon as it opened. We've had some information sessions. People are applying, and we want to maximize the opportunity for folks to participate in these higher education opportunities. So please share with your networks if we haven't already reached them. And also much anticipated, we are expecting hopefully next week to be able to announce the first round of family child care capital grants, the first ever program that we run for family child care grants. We've been doing it in partnership with Mass Development, which is in our Economic Development Secretariat, new strong partnership. brand new program. Took us a little while to get off the ground, but really excited. We'll be announcing a first round, and then there'll be an additional round, which will also include technical assistance. So if you or someone you know did not get a grant in this very first pilot round, there will be a second round opportunity, and there will be lots of opportunities for technical assistance in supporting applications for the next round. Okay. So on to the board meeting from yesterday. I don't think I'm going to go into great detail about that, but I will tell you a couple highlights. You can see the slides, and you can also watch the video of the meeting as well. We did talk about the FY26 budget. I don't have a lot of updates on that. It sounds like you did a big dive last night, so you know we are in the process, awaiting a conference committee and keeping an eye on some variations between the House version and the Senate version. And I know Amy will keep you updated, and we were happy to come back and talk about what the implications are when the final budget is signed.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be great.
And we'll look forward to that. We were also very excited at yesterday's board meeting. I think a press release went out, so you could drop that in the chat too, if you don't mind, Jackie.
Jackie has been on fire so far with all the
She
links,
is already, I know, she is like giving Eugenia a run for her money. Yeah. Yesterday the board took action to promulgate the regulations many of us have worked on. The legislature supported through the budget. It was part of the governor's Gateway to Pre-K agenda to increase eligibility for childcare financial assistance from 50% of state median income to 85%. This is a policy change that I think all of us deeply believe in terms of maximizing access for families. And so we will now build our system, our new family portal, our policies and procedures around that 85%, which is the maximum allowable by federal regulation. We think it's the right policy, and we were excited that the board took this action. And I think it's been supported very broadly here as well. The other thing we talked about was the Commonwealth Cares for Children program. There are new requirements for us that were included in last year's budget, and new expectations for the board's role in that program. So we are continuing. We talked yesterday about some of the areas that will be required. So new statutory or mandated requirement from the legislature that programs who are taking Commonwealth Cares for Children, or C3, will now be required to commit to taking children to enrolling children with child care financial assistance in order to qualify for the program. We are also looking at a number of other changes that we have heard feedback from, such as considering child care financial assistance that's broader than vouchers and contracts from EEC. Many programs do private fundraising or provide discounts for their staff, and we've talked about counting that group as sort of an incentive, and as we think about the equity adjustment. We've also heard a number of programs that are in very, very sort of low opportunity communities. We've been using census track as a way to kind of identify high need community or place, what we call place-based need. And we've gotten some feedback that maybe there's whole communities we should consider. We've also gotten some feedback that our tier 2 equity adjustment, for those of you who've been following the details of this program, could also use some additional adjustments. So we have been gathering feedback over the past year. We are going to continue to work on sort of what the formula looks like. We are talking about whether we might direct additional resources over time towards workforce investments. And we also talked a little bit about sort of ongoing data collection. So I encourage you to take a look at the board meeting. The team did a terrific job kind of presenting the various considerations that are underway, including the new requirements from the legislature. and just pausing to thank all of you who participate in the regular C3 data collection. We know it's a lot, but we use the data, and it's very important and meaningful for us. I think we recently released a Commonwealth Cares for Children data brief, and that data has helped us drive understanding for the program and its impact. So there will be a lot of further discussion over the next several weeks around the Commonwealth Cares for Children program, and we'll want to continue to get your feedback about whether, that program, we are incredibly fortunate that all three versions of the budget have it at 475. So, and permanent in statute, but with that is level funding from this year. So that means as we think about any changes, they would have to be cost neutral or not have any costs associated with them. So this program will continue to change over time. So we'll see if this is the year for changes or not. The last thing we did at the board meeting, most of you are aware, we've been in a process around revisions to our residential programs. We oversee the part of where in the residential programs and group homes where the children live and sleep through our residential regulations, focused on health and safety, but also on staffing and other really foundational elements. So that's been a really important part of our work ongoing. We don't talk about that much here, but if you're interested, I encourage you to have a chance to look at the board meeting. Okay, that was a lot.
It was a lot, but Amy, I will say you did speak slowly, which we know is really important for in the Excel linguistics interpretation. And as we are adding, I asked folks to add some 930 call love and appreciation for Excel because it has been an incredible partnership to have them once a month to join us for these calls. And thanks to especially Edna and Anna Teresa for advocating for Portuguese to be included. We hold this as a value at Strategies for Children and just are so grateful to have partners like Excel who can take very complicated policy and find the right words in translation. And Commissioner, I also want to thank you and your team from EEC. I also added that in the chat. Our 930 call appreciation moment. Over the past few weeks, our team has been able to be in different conversations with other states, whether we're at the kind of one call that we hear from lots of different states. Titus and I have had a couple of one-on-one calls with other states, and their contexts and realities are so different than what we are experiencing in Massachusetts. And as you started out by saying, kind of in the face of all the things that we wish were not happening, to be in a place like Massachusetts where we have a line item that is $475 million that has remained constant, for the department to continue to, implement all the policy that was passed. So Amy, you said that we were on the, I don't know where I saw you, but there's 13 new reporting requirements that you have to do as because of that policy. We, heard about the state plan that you're crafting, the 5-year plan. So, I think sometimes I get accused of being overly optimistic and sunshine and roses, but I just do want to take this moment to thank you and your team for your responsiveness for joining this call. Over 150 people joining us this morning. And you're just kind of learning stance with us, and how can we think about policy in this concrete way? So thank you for that. And I know that folks will share that in the chat. And so there was a question about when the 85% will go into effect. Jackie answered it in the chat. Marissa highlighted that RI and early childhood blog. We wrote about the C3 data piece. I know we're writing about CPPI. Joe Bernard says, not really a question, but a comment on how wonderful a house outside Section 64A will be to create a unit base for the administrative costs. That's a lot. My chat is jumping all over the place, so I can't read that. Okay, Joe.
We will also have upcoming a child care financial assistance or CCFA data brief. And Amy, you and I have talked a lot about how sort of complicated the landscape around funding and rules around childcare financial assistance. So we are working on that brief, which we hope will also bring a level of information to the field, like our other briefs too. Our amazing
Great.
research team.
I'm scrolling through chat. And so, Commissioner, we would love to have you come back after the budget is signed by the governor, just to think about the implications. I think it has been an incredible opportunity on the 9:30 call to run through the budget as it's happening and advocacy. We do have a message to conference committee, so you can, if you're on a list, you could have gotten an email for one-click advocacy. So, Commissioner, we know that this kind of ends the board session for the Department of Early Education and Care. Your next board meeting will be in September, is that right? And then this summer, do you have your retreat? Is that true?
We will meet again on September 10th, and we're actually going to do our strategic planning folded into that day.
Oh, great.
We're giving them August
That's
to have
good.
to actually have a summer break. So we will do a very focused strategic planning session with the board around our 5-year strategic action plan. So, but would really like Amy to come back here, talk about budget when that happens.
That'd be
And
great.
as we advance our work around our 5-year strategic action plan, also the opportunity to come back to this group would be great. And then C3, I know if you want the team to come back and talk through kind of the changes that we talked about it a little bit,
That would be
the
great.
advisory committee, and if you want
Yeah.
to do it here on the 9:30 call, there will be opportunities for engagement. So this is a great place for us to come and kind of bring the highlight of the areas that we're considering for changes, and then there will be opportunities for deeper dive, whether it's a year for changes or not is even
Right.
on the table.
Brianna Flaherty also kind of thanked you for coming to the apprentice, to meet with the apprenticeship folks, and then added her contact information if folks are interested for more information. As always, we will send the chat to the commissioner so you can see the appreciation and love. I'll leave it open for a minute, so if you want to send some more 9:30 callers, that'd be great. We will be back in action on Monday. I have no idea who will be on the call then. We'll send the email out tomorrow. We are booking for July and August, so if you have content ideas, please let us know who we should book on the 9:30 call. And otherwise, enjoy this summer, maybe just for today, summer day. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the EEC team for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Thank you so much, everyone. Stay together
Bye.
and stay together over the summer, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Excel Linguistics. And we will have the recordings in all 3 languages posted on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, Julian.
Bye, Amy.
Bye.